Good morning. When finally the system has accepted your orders from the request and the purchase orders was issued, the supplier delivers what was ordered, or it may deliver only a partial what was ordered. Thing there is, from this menu, of order management, this happens all from the request option of raw materials here on delivered. So here, once it's delivered, you can already print the Bodeguero receipt. But what actually happens there? What happens there is, from the request, it was served and it was delivered. The way it was delivered, the way it was placed in the system is in process delivered. Here, when you check this portion of delivered, here, things happen. Well, when it's delivered, it goes to two files. One is to delivered file and transactions file. This happens here. Now what happens after that? After that, once it is in delivered file, then you can already print this Bodeguero receipt. But what we're also after is that once it's printed, you can also go to the accounting entries here. Now, to go back, once the system is in delivered, the data is in delivered by this command here. Here, when you check that command, you see this portion, 300 was served and 300 was delivered. So everything was delivered. Once that happens, it all goes to the two files, to the delivered file and to the transaction file. Delivered file and transaction file. In the delivered file, you can already print the Bodeguero receipt. What we shown here, the Bodeguero receipt. And once it is in the transaction file, you can already print the purchase transaction report. The purchase transaction report can be found here in your accounting entries. The transaction report is here. Right. Now you would notice that the entries are here for debit and credit, but that did not happen automatically. Once you put in once this happens, it was transferred to your transaction file. Okay, it goes to the complete transaction file, so you have to isolate them. Now, how do you isolate them? By going to the design view, okay, and identifying that the transaction file here, okay, should produce only your transactions, not everything, but only the transactions of that you want to edit. So you do that by going through your transaction file here. Design that, and this is where you define in the TN the complete transaction file. That's how you're able to produce these accounting entries. If not, all the transactions would appear there, and in the transactions entries you only have to edit the credit entry because the debit entry is already in default. So you edit the You edit the credit entry here by putting in the supplier, so it's Manila Oil Seal, and entering the credit transactions to have a balanced transactions. If there are taxes that you have to, if it's importations, that's a separate discussion altogether. So again, we are talking about delivered transactions from request, purchased order, request, it is purchased, and finally it is delivered, and you will be generating two files for printout, bodegero receipt, and purchase transactions.